Buried in every corner and crevice of Chicago is a seemingly infinite amount of nuanced and niched music and art scenes, all thriving within their both self-contained and shared ecosystems. To much of the outside world looking in, at a glance it's easy to identify Chicago simply as the jazz-loving city that gave birth to modern celebrated artists like Chance the Rapper and drill's most celebrated hero, Chief Keef. But while these artists are a significant part of the city's music history, comparisons to them fail to even scratch the surface of the depth of Chicago's elaborate music and art scenes, across both the thriving underground and those getting closer to the light of the mainstream. Peeling back the layers of Chicago's music scene, we find an elaborate network of artists and communities that seem to blend and weave in and out of each other, forming deep-rooted subsects and offshoots of yesterday's standards and experiments. Forever fluid and evolving, Chicago artists have always been known to push the boundaries of sound to give birth to the music of tomorrow. But the same as any city housing as many globally celebrated talents as Chicago, especially as the birthplace of massively popular drill music, a shadow is easily cast over the true depth and reach of the city's musical talent. And while big-name festivals like Riot Fest and Lollapalooza bring tens of thousands of people into the city in the name of music every year, they fail to bring attention to what the city's own sound space has to offer. This year, with MusicFest Chicago, the festival's creators wanted to shed a light and provide an honest effort to expose this gap in the perception of what exactly Chicago music is. For 3 days across 3 venues, the festival was organized to show an elaborate and diverse range of Chicago's most talented artists, stretching from punk to noise rock to eclectic post-jazz, from folk to surf rock, and then shifting back into things like flamenco. It is this diversity that defines the true heart of Chicago's music scene, a melding of minds and walks of life that doesn't stop at the artists and acts, but spills out into the crowds that support. You may expect in a city with so many nuanced avenues of stylistic music choices that concertgoers would simply find their pocket and stay in it. But our city houses some of the most eager to absorb listeners. We see the same crowds gather for artists that are sonically worlds apart, displaying that Chicago's music culture seeks the diversity of this music itself rather than one particular sound over the other. While Chicago is known for being the proving ground for some of the biggest names in the industry, it houses an immense amount of talent and artistry brimming to the surface, forever evolving and continuously spreading and growing, giving birth to the next generations of style, music, and art. To our city and all that it represents, where the spirit of punk can be seen in our hip-hop, where even though we've outgrown the jazz and blues generalizations, you can still find their influence sprinkled into everything. To all of our sounds of tomorrow, this is Chicago, and we are the future of sound.